All right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And this is the same hat that Brock Purdy's dad wears. Chat loves it when Marty Lurie comes on.
Anytime you lose a game this time of year, when you can't go backwards, it's a problem.
All right, welcome on in, everybody. NorCal Sports Network. In-game watch party. Arizona leading the Niners now 32-24. Fourth quarter just underway. Go Cardinals in this one, right? You're a real 49er fan. I think you want the Cardinals to win this game so you get a better draft pick, right? Lou Marston will be joining us shortly. Let us thank our sponsor. That would be Chapman Law Group. Give a shout out to Chapman Law Group. If you need any needs there, give them a call. Chapman Law Group, 415-613-9483. For all your legal needs, give Chapman Law Group a call. All right, guys, welcome on in. And yeah, I'm going for the Cardinals in this game because I want the Niners to get a better draft pick. Maybe it doesn't matter. Hold on here. I got to find something to clean my glasses. I can't read the chat, guys, without too many dang hats in here. I can't read the chat without my glasses, so got to put these on. But maybe it doesn't matter where the Niners pick. They pick first or 30th. Kyle seems to choke on the pick. But all these missed draft picks the last several years is killing the Niners' depth. But, showing us some old highlights of old 49ers. Frank Gore, Jerry Rice. Wow. Oh, some teams, guys that played for both. What was that? No, I don't know what that was. Anyway, producer Ryan, he's real close to getting a lifetime ban for talking all of his trash. You know, it's crazy. A guy makes a nice pick, gets lucky with a bad schedule, weak AFC, and then he gloats and gloats and gloats on it. And you wouldn't believe the amount of text. If you were in Brian's text group, you would actually lose your freaking mind because the guy will blast you with 23 to 25 texts within a 3-minute period. Just ask Lou when he gets in here. It's just, oh man. All right. So 33-24 Cardinals. This is a poor defensive game. No defense in this game. Oh, Devin Fitzgerald, son of Larry Fitzgerald there. Looks like Larry there. Yeah. Cool. Well, guys, I don't think you take Robert a running back with the 11th pick. I wouldn't. You need linemen. Who's going to block for the running back? 49ers need some big-time linemen to fix this thing. Oh, Dobbs, that nice pass out to Pearsall. Pearsall got a TD earlier today. Looking pretty good. Yeah, don't be that guy, Ryan. Don't be that guy. He's, Ryan, even a broken clock is right twice a day, okay? Yeah, you don't want to be that guy that just – we should just give Ryan a show. In fact, NorCal Sports Network, we come on live at 7:45. I think we'll start a new show from 6 to 7 every weekday night so everybody can hear Ryan gloat for an hour. That would be a tremendous show. It would grow to about 7 people watching and then go down quickly to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then it'll be just Ryan and one person watching, Ryan's mother. That'll be it. Ryan and his mom, he'll be doing a show. And And then after about a week or two, his mom will say, I've had enough. I can't take it. All right, guys. All fun. Just having some fun. Oh, Debo's sitting there on the sideline. Huh? This is a rough day in NFL. Nobody's playing their guys, the regulars. It's just like if they go to 18 weeks, you'll see other teams be out of it too quicker. It's just if they go to 18 weeks, they got to do two buys. You got to give people a couple of buys. It's ridiculous. What you guys think of Juwan Jennings getting tossed? I thought it was brutal. The guy was just playing physical football. He's just, what do we call him? Call him pancakes, right? He was blocking the guy and slamming him into the ground, and then the guy on the defense doesn't like it because it's too physical, and he gets up and starts grabbing Jennings' helmet, face mask, takes his helmet off, and then the other guys can't handle it, jumps on him. Dude, that's his job. He's supposed to block guys. And if these refs, it's just poor officiating. Then the one official got right into it and ended up trying to break it up and looks like he probably tore his ACL or something. That kind of sucks. But you over legislate, man. Just let them duke it out. Don't try and get in there like a hockey ref. And I mean, even the hockey refs let them fight it out for a while, and then they break it up. But these guys are fully padded. They're not going to hurt each other. Let them go at it. Ref gets in there and then gets hurt. That was just dumb. Don't try and break up two guys in pads. And you can't get hurt in a fight in football. You got a helmet on and you're completely protected. Just come on. What I love about hockey fights is they throw the gloves off and they let them go at it. Football ref gets in there today and tries to break up two guys just basically wrestling. Come on. Yeah, nothing wrong with what JJ did. The league ought to suspend some of these refs for just brutal calls. Hey, there's a nice catch to Conley down the middle. What do you guys think of Josh Dobbs? He's got some zip on the ball. It's nice to see the ball have some, I don't know, like looks like a dart at times, the way the ball gets out. I mean, he's had some horrible passes too, I got to say, some short passes that have been very high. But I'm going to rank my quarterbacks here shortly, guys. I'm going to rank all 30 teams or in order. And I haven't even done this exercise yet. Right now, I did it earlier in the year, and I'm going to do it again here. And I'm going to rank quarterbacks 1 through 30. Hey, Cole, good to see you. Aaron? Yeah, isn't that funny, Aaron? It makes you crack up. I mean, you're going to break your hand trying to punch a guy with a helmet on. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys ever put a helmet on. If you played, you have, but this thing's a rock. Man. I got my head bounced off of artificial. Oh, fumble. Looks like holding on the play too, and Dobbs fumbled. That's good. Arizona win this game. Yeah, I got my bell rung one time. Football, I wasn't looking, and a guy plastered me, and I banged my head off the artificial turf, the back of it. Head went. Could hear the ringing. Vibrating. We didn't even know about concussions back then, hardly. I ended up, going back in the game later, but I had a headache for a couple days. But when you're young, the concussions don't affect you as much. So Arizona ball looks like they recover. So, yeah, that explains it, doesn't it, Dallas? That explains it. Oh, somebody's bet Ryan. He needs to lose. He's going to get himself humbled one of these days. Oh, my goodness. He wins a couple bets. Playing golf now. All right, Cole. Playing golf. 4. All right. And we welcome in the great Lou Marston.
Dan, how are you, bud?
Come save me, man. I'm having to deal with Ryan just gloating about his Broncos and talking about all his bets, and he's just talking smack. I told him we're going to start a new show from 6 to 7, and Ryan's going to host it for 1 hour, and he's going to talk about how great he is and how much he's the prognosticator of all of sports. And I told him 7 people will be watching. It'll dwindle down to 1, and it'll be his mother. And then after a week.
Well, one thing about this show is people make bets all the time. Dan, I know you're going to come through on your payments, but, this might be the only time Ryan actually ever wins. We do know the Warriors are going to have trouble, and he's going to wind up having to pay me.
I think you're going to pay us. Did I give you an out on that? Did I give you an out on that?
I don't have an out. You actually owe me from the Niners.
What for?
Because when us and Los spoke, you basically guaranteed they'd be 10-7, and I told you they'd be either 7-10 or 8-9. You actually gave me a way to get out of my Warrior bet.
Oh, is that what I did? Is that
you go, hey Lou, because this is when the Warriors were like 14-2, and of course I wasn't worried. You go, I'm going to give you a chance to win your money back, Lou, before, and I go, okay, no problem.
What did I do?
You bet $44 with me. So you owe me 44, and I think.
Wait a minute, I owe you 44 for what?
I told you that you're Niners.
No, that was double or nothing. That was like if you win, yeah, I owe you 44 now, but you're going to owe me 44. Okay, you're going to owe me 44 at the end, so we'll break even.
No.
Yeah.
You owe me double. I'm not really worried. Do I look sweating? Let me see. No, actually, I got my new mic here. I got all this. So, no, I'm not worried.
Hey, I got all that too. Look at that, man. Look at that, man.
We're here for fun. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But, here's the thing with Ryan. He's been talking big game. They're in the playoffs. They got very lucky since Casey didn't have to play anybody. But, it's his team, so we got to congratulate him. So yes. Well done, Ryan. No problem. We're troopers. But today's game, the usual, our defense and DBs were nowhere to be found. But I think
breaking news, Lou. Breaking news. New network. A new network is taking place.
There you go. Cardinals.
The Ryan and Chardall Sports Network, everybody. There we go. Hey, we can play that for the Niners here too, really.
Yeah. The one thing about the Niners, and Lowe's bought this up, he always gets pissed off, and I think you did too with Shanahan, why he never runs. Here it is, Taylor today. I never heard of Taylor. He's only on our team because of all the injuries. And what does the guy do? 15 rushes, 96 yards. So if it works, the system, why don't you do it? Why do you always have to pass? The run game still works with a bad offensive line, but he just has his way. As Lowe says, he's so stubborn. It's all Shanahan, what he wants, not what other people recommend. But that's a perfect example. This guy, Taylor, I never heard of the guy until today. And the guy's still going to rush for 100 yards. And he's only on our team, I know, because of the injuries. But that just shows, we have something that works. Let's follow through and do it. But, this game, 33-24. It's
7-11 left. Niners get the ball after the Cardinals punt. Hey, I got my new setup. I actually moved some stuff around my office. I have a little bit of a different angle here.
Yeah, I do see that.
But I don't have to sit in the family room because I've got another TV right there.
There you go.
I just moved that one out. That's not the big one. That's the 50-inch one or 50. I think it's a 50 or 55. I don't know what it is. But
Are you amazed when we grew up, we had to use the tinfoil to make sure it was clear.
oh, yeah.
And we were happy when photos were, the TV was this big. Now they're gigantic,
Yeah.
and they're crystal clear, which is great. Like when you look on YouTube, some of these, of course, the chat might not realize it, but when they go on YouTube, they go, why is everything so blurry? No, that's how we had to watch it back then. That's as clear as it was. You know what I mean? On the old highlights.
Right. Let's see. What do we got here? I'm looking here at, let's see here. Hey, I'm gonna rank my all top 30 quarterbacks, Lou. There's, it's just something interesting to talk about.
Top
here.
30 quarterbacks of our generation recently, or all
I'm
time?
gonna rank the quarterbacks right now in the league as I see them. And I'm just I haven't
in the
thought
league.
about
So
this.
right now I
In
got
the
it.
league. So let me pull up the standings here so I can look at all the teams. All right. And this is without any help from the chat.
Of course.
Without any help from Lou. And Los may be joining us here too. All right. So here's my number one. I'm going with Mahomes. Even though
Sort of hard not to.
sometimes I think Burrow's better just because, but Mahomes has all the championships. Number two, I'm going with Josh Allen.
Wait a minute. Are you going to do the whole league, all 30? Why don't you just do maybe your top 12?
No, I'm just going to go 30. I'm
right.
just going to see how this goes. We'll see if I can rip through it in 5 minutes. Tell me what you think. All right. And then I got third. I got Joe Burrow. This is where it gets a little bit crazy here. Fourth, I am going to go with, not looking at the chat, so I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels. No. Take that back. Lamar Jackson, 4.
Now you're talking.
Lamar, 4. I forgot about, I'm looking at the standings here. 5, I think I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels. 5.
Okay.
6, I am going to go with Jordan Love. 7, I'm going with Jared Goff. 8, I'm going to go with, how about give me some Sam Darnold. 9. All right, and we bring in Los. There he is. He joins the crew. I'm going over my top 30. I'm ranking my top 30 quarterbacks right now, and I'm just throwing them together as I see them. I haven't thought about it. No, just I'm at where am I at? 9? Who did I say, Lou? 9.
You said
I'm
Jordan
on 9.
Love, and then you went
top
from Minnesota. He's just going in random order. After 10, I'll do my top 10. I can't do the full entire.
I was gonna say, like, top 10 is good. Like all 30.
I'm gonna go real quick. Okay, to recap: Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, 4, Jackson, 5, Jaden Daniels, 6, went with Jordan Love, 7, Goff, 8, Sam Darnold, 9. I'll go with how about let's go Stafford, 9. And as we go through this, 10, let's give 10 to, I'm just going down the standings here.
That's what I mean.
Baker Mayfield, 10. And
boy, you're not even picking Brock in the top 10, huh?
Not now. No, I had him way high earlier in the season, and I readjust. Okay, 11. I am going to go with Stroud. 11. No. Take that back. I'm going to go Justin Herbert. 11. Stroud. 12. I'll go. How about if we go with Bo Nix, 12, or was that 13? Whatever I'm on. 13. 14 will go Jalen Hurts. 15. Maybe I'll only go top 20. This is just getting pretty bad.
There you go.
15. I'm just looking down this list here. I'm going to go Michael Penix, 15. I like him better than Purdy. I do. I think
You
he's
guys only played
better.
3 games.
I don't care. I'm going 16. I'll go Brock. 17. I'll go Dak Prescott. 18. Trevor Lawrence. 19. Jeez. This is slim pickings. Who cares? 19, 20. We'll just call it Geno Smith and how about Russell Wilson 20? Whatever. Something like that. Okay. I'm done.
Well,
I can't go to 30.
Of course you can.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to move Bryce. I'm going to put Bryce. What's his name? Carolina Bryce Young. I'm going to move him up to maybe 21. I had him at 30th earlier in the year. He's improved a lot. I really think he's improving.
He's playing better.
So,
which just goes to prove that sometimes young quarterbacks, when you sit them down, maybe give them a game or two to kind of like just watch the game from the sidelines and hold a clipboard and process it, not just in film and meetings rooms. Maybe they pick up on some things because since he's came back, he's played real well.
I love it when people get upset. Dumb list, Dan. Well, thank you, ATX or whatever your ATX7. Dumb list.
All right. I'll give you my top 10. And I can't do all 30. Christ,
I only did 20. I could, yeah. Once you get to 15, it gets.
Los might drop me from the show. I can't have that. All right. First of all, Mahomes, just because of what he's done. Number 2, Burrow, Allen, Golf, Lamar.
Golf
Herbert.
or golf? You like golf? I like golf.
Goff, Herbert, Love, Murray, Stratford.
I forgot about Kyler
Tua.
Murray. Yeah.
That's all you
Tua
need.
in the top 10?
Well, when the guy's healthy, have you seen when they're healthy? Miami's offense, they are where they're at, not because of their offense, it's their defense. And I'm not a big fan of their coach, the 49er cast off.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, when you watch, when he's healthy, his arm, he places it so nice, that's my top 10. I mean, you got Murray. I don't know why he just hasn't made it. I mean, I know he's been good for Arizona a few times. He sort of owns the 49ers, but his running game is so unbelievable. And you know what? I think probably in the next 5 years, someone like Love, he'll probably be in the top 3. I mean, this guy's young. He did exactly what Dan said. He sat, he waited, and to tell you the truth, he's probably better than I ever thought he was. And he just gets better every year.
He's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
And he sat for 3 years, just like Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 years behind Brett Favre. Oh, that's a penalty. Gosh, who is that? Who's 30? Yasin. He's off, man. You're what are you complaining about? He's complaining about a penalty. He's grabbing him, holding him the whole way down the sideline.
It's typical DBs of the Niners.
Look at this guy. Okay, can you see the replay, guys? Here it is. He's grabbing him, pushing him. He's got his jersey, holding his jersey on the shoulder, and then he complains. What the heck? What kind of – how do these guys – man, I'm telling you, some of these guys that complain, it's like the basketball players in the NBA. I think they got to decapitate the guy's head to make it was an actual foul.
I agree there.
This guy's complaining. Yasin, cut. Moody, cut. Who else can we cut, Los?
You know who I want to cut, but I've been debating that so hard the last 2 weeks.
Touchdown, Cardinals over Mooney. Bye, Mooney. Ward.
You know how we always talk about how professional sports is a business, and not a game anymore. Boy, there was some more evidence leaning towards that today. Did you guys see the reaction on the field when Michael Evans caught a pass to go over 1,000 yards and got a $3 million bonus?
Yes. I missed it.
You would have thought they won the Super Bowl. This is a business full and through. It is really not a game anymore.
And Dan, the game was over. It should have taken 3 knees, but instead they passed just to make
Oh,
sure.
because I had just turned the channel
Yeah.
and then I saw them running off the field, him on the sideline, and I thought, did they just throw a little 10-yard, 7-yard pass at the end of the game instead of
It
taking
was like a middle screen for 6 yards. He gained about 8, and then he threw the ball up, and then the whole team. Now, again, I know it's a business, but these guys have been going at it. Doubled sessions back in August. They made the playoffs. And, that's a pretty big bonus, $3 million.
That's
$3 million's a nice bonus. That's pretty.
So
I'm sure ownership loved it. I'm sure ownership loved it. The incentives that are built into contracts, again, did you see Dobbs, like how obsessed he was in getting Jennings to 1,000 yards? Like we have these ulterior motives on a game. Last year, I thought that Kyle was really trying hard to get Purdy, who was neck and neck at the time with Lamar Jackson for MVP last year. And it was a Monday night game against Baltimore. And Baltimore was not good against the run. They just were not good against the run. And Kyle came out throwing because he had an alternative, seemed like an alternative motive. And this is like driving me nuts about the game. Like coaches, players, win the game. Win the game, Dobbs. Don't just be looking for your buddy from Tennessee, Jennings. I saw Cowing open at least 3 to 4 times downfield.
Agreed.
Deep on a post route. And I said, throw him the ball. And it was like, no, get it to Jennings, get it to Jennings, get it to Jennings. And this is happening way too often. I mean, I don't know if anybody else is catching it. I'm seeing it. And it's got to stop. Win the game.
Yeah. Hey, how about some of the scores today in games? The Panthers upset Atlanta, which was pretty interesting. I would have picked Carolina possibly today in my pool if I had survived, and I was picking the Patriots over the Bills, and they won. So, with Broncos, the Chiefs get shut out. I think that might be the first time in the Andy Reid era, possibly. I'm guessing with the Chiefs. Wouldn't it be kind of crazy if the Chiefs lay an egg in the first round of the playoffs, and then all of a sudden the controversy becomes, maybe you shouldn't just rest all your guys and they get rusty and they sit out for 2 weeks because they got the bye? What happens if these guys get a little rust? I mean, the guys playing today were all second teamers for the most part, so it probably doesn't happen. But I think it would be hilarious if Kansas City gets the bye and they play the 6th or 7th seed that wins, or it could be the 4th seed, but whoever plays them, it would be great if they just shut them down and they
do we have playoff matchups yet or not yet?
I believe we do.
Because Minnesota and Detroit have to play each other.
Yeah, well, it depends on. Let me tell you what's happening here. The Rams game, if they lose, they get the 4th seed. If they win, they get the 3 seed. And the Rams are lost. So the Rams fall. That moves up Tampa Bay to 3. So 3 plays 6. Let me just give you the. I'll give you everything right here. Hold on, I'm going to sneeze here.
I tell you, Tampa's got a really good offense. They're gonna maybe win a game or 2 in the playoffs.
Okay, so the NFC playoffs, it looks like this. Philadelphia will play Green Bay, host Green Bay. Tampa Bay will host Washington, 3-6. And then the Rams will play the loser of Detroit, Minnesota. There's your matchups. So
I think the Rams are going to be one and done
at LA.
Matchup.
Yeah, at LA. They got the toughest matchup. Tampa avoided that. So Tampa will get Washington. That'll be a really good game, actually. Because and then Philly, Green Bay is going to be a great game. mean, I think Green Bay can beat them.
I kind of thought that too, but Love got dinged up today.
Oh, did he?
He hurt his elbow. I don't know how effective he's going to be next week, and I don't like how Love is playing even when he's healthy. He's just off a little bit, just like C.J. Stroud was off.
Agreed.
This year. They both regressed. Love was the hottest quarterback in football last year at the end of the year, throwing darts, playing very carefree. And now you brought this up last week, Dan, regarding the Niners, and I think maybe it applies to him. When these quarterbacks are like forced to have to play like a system or a scheme, it's like you're handcuffing them a little bit. If they have naturally physical talent, or like in Brock's case, maybe he doesn't have the biggest arm in the world, but he's very smart. And if you gave him the freedom to audible, he could maybe go into a better play. I think if you let quarterbacks just kind of do more their own thing with their own talent, whatever strengths they may have, I think you would see more success than this is how you're supposed to run it. Because I think it's hurting some quarterbacks.
In the AFC, the playoffs are set there. It will be, of course, in the NFC, you've got the winner tonight getting the bye, Detroit or Minnesota. So, okay, third and what is Dobbs throwing that? Jeez, 3rd and 4, and he just totally missed his target. He's either looks really good or awful. There's not much in between with Dobbs. He's like really way off on his passes. I mean, really off, or he's putting it in there like a dart. But
Dobbs gives you a lower ceiling, but a higher floor.
Right.
As a quarterback.
Good call.
And, when he's bad, he's pretty bad. But when he's good, man, he's good. Now, when Kyle decided to start Braylon Allen over him in a meaningful game against the Packers, it wouldn't have made a difference. I mean, let's be real. Let's be honest, which we are on this show. They're not going to beat the Packers. But it is a significant flaw to actually think that Braylon Allen is better than Josh Dobbs. Like, we all see Dobbs can make plays that Allen can't even think of making with his legs and with his arm. It's nice. It's very refreshing to see the ball come out of a 49ers quarterback with that kind of velocity and accuracy.
I like the velocity, yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the AFC playoffs. Buffalo will host and trounce the Broncos. 3 seed Baltimore will play the Steelers at home, and Houston will play the Chargers. I like. Let's pick the playoffs, guys. Let's pick the playoffs. AFC. Since we're on the AFC, who do you got going to the bowl? Okay, Buffalo versus Denver. Who do you like in that game?
Buffalo.
Lou?
I like Buffalo.
They're the biggest. They're the biggest threat to KC.
All right. So I've got make it a trifecta. I have Buffalo as well. Okay, 3 seed Baltimore, Pittsburgh at Baltimore. I'll take Baltimore. What do you got, Lou?
I have Baltimore.
And Los?
I'm going to say Pittsburgh. Lamar Jackson's playoff continue.
You might be right, because Pittsburgh's lost like 4 in a row and they're reeling, but it's a division.
It's a division game. Weird things happen. I tell you what, if Pittsburgh keeps that game close, they're going to win the game. Or Baltimore's going to win in a blowout.
Yeah,
but let's see.
I agree.
Lamar needs to get off of the Jets.
All right, and then Chargers and Jim Harbaugh head into Houston. I'm going to take the Chargers in an upset.
I'm with you. I like the Chargers.
I think Chargers will be favored, but yeah, I think the Chargers.
I don't like how Houston has played this year.
All right, so we've got, and then so then round 2, if everything works out the way we call it, it'll be Kansas City would host probably the Chargers unless the Steelers win. I mean, we know the Broncos aren't winning, so let's take.
I smell another bet coming.
I'm working on it. I'm baiting him in. He's even put it in the chat. He's ready to get. He says he's ready to take some more money. Look at this. He's all right. So let's say it's Kansas City against the Chargers, and then Buffalo against Baltimore. Or it could be Kansas City against Pittsburgh too. So
yeah, let's stick with what probably will happen, which is Baltimore. I just like to pick underdogs.
Right.
I think KC and Buffalo are on a collision course for the AFC Championship.
And who wins that game this year? Do the refs say we want a three-peat? Is the NFL going that way?
I want Buffalo to win, but if a gun was to my head, I would say KC. Just the refs are not going to allow them to lose if it's a close game. To beat KC, and I'll keep saying this, you have to blow them out. You have to be ahead by 14, 17 points where bad calls or weird things happen late, which always goes in their favor, happens. You have to have that Tom Brady, Tampa Bay mentality that they had. That's the only way they're going to lose. If it's a close game, they'll win.
I'm gonna pick both dogs. For the AFC Championship will be the Chargers against Baltimore.
Nice.
And Baltimore's going to defeat Harbaugh. And Baltimore,
Again?
after being the number 1 seed so many years and failing, now nobody's talking about them. They're going to get in. It's all because of the running game.
All right.
Good call. Good call.
I'm going to go with Buffalo all the way this year. I'm taking Buffalo. All right. So the NFC. The NFC, we really don't know this one till tonight, so it's going to be hard to pick that but I will say,
who do you like tonight?
My heart wants Detroit because I kind of like Dan Campbell and Jared Goff.
Mm-hmm.
My head's telling me Minnesota might win this game. They lost earlier by 2, and Minnesota has a little bit stronger defense than Detroit, and I don't know if Detroit can stop Minnesota, and I think it's a really close game, and it comes down to a possession where the Vikings are able to stop Detroit.
High scoring game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, in the 30s for both teams at least.
Yeah.
For me, the one thing is I have doubted Minnesota all year, and they always seem to somehow win for 8 weeks after, even when the Niners lost to them on a fluke play because we played a prevent defense in the second series of the game and gave up a 98-yard pass to the best wide receiver in football. Every game that the Vikings play, somehow, some way they come up. Now, I don't know if it's coaching. I know it's not their quarterback, but they come up in key plays. Like tonight, everyone thinks it's going to be the first to 80. Whoever scores 40 points. This is for all the marbles. I think this is such an important game. I think where this is going to be more of a defensive game. I've never seen a total at 57, and I know Detroit's hurting, but you got to remember, guys, this game is so important. Detroit's not going to go for, like they did against the Niners, hey, let's go for 4th down and 5.
I think they will. I think they will. If it's in their territory, if they're at their 40-yard line or 45, I could see them going for it.
You get one chance to be number 1 seed. You give it all in tonight. You get a week
off. Touchdown for Arizona, breakaway.
Another blowout.
Wow. Just right through that porous defensive line of the 49ers.
Lou, you got a purple shirt on, Lou, so I'm not surprised you're picking the Vikings.
No, it's actually blue.
That looks purple. Dan, does that look purple?
It does look a little purple.
It does. I agree.
A Baltimore Ravens shirt or a Vikings.
Sorry.
No. I'm just saying that's where you like it.
It says Tommy's 50th anniversary. Tommy's Margaritas.
There you go.
Boy, the Niners are. Oh man. Well, they get the 11th pick.
Why the 11th? I thought they were due to get the 10th.
I
don't know. Some people are saying the 11th. What?
Oh, okay.
I haven't even.
I've heard 11. I've heard 11. But if
you look at this,
the early round history of the draft.
If you look at the league, the Niners. Okay, let me count. They're going to be the only team that finishes 6-11.
Nice.
They're the only one in all of football, believe it or not. Everybody else was either 5 wins or less or 7. So the Niners are the only team, and that makes them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The Bears will pick right in front of them, and the Panthers and the Saints. Looks like the New York Giants will get the first pick, and Tennessee. And what's interesting is both teams need quarterbacks.
Oh, they said. I thought
So
they
that
said
means-
Tennessee as number 1 pick.
Oh, did you say the Bears are picking right in front of them at 10?
Yeah.
Oh. So imagine if what we wanted came true and Kyle was traded. We'd have 10 and 11. Oh, and there's some studs that you can get at 10, 11. 1 offensive lineman and 1 defensive lineman. Oh my God.
Can you imagine trading Kyle, and get 10 and 11?
and another one, because it would take 2 ones to get Kyle if you want to get him.
Yeah.
These people that come at us saying we want to fire Shandy, we don't. We want something. We're smart. We want something back for him.
He's a commodity, valuable commodity.
Yes.
Hey, Dan, I do want to bring up something. We had our mid-season prediction, and I know you said they'd go 10-7. Not a problem. You were wrong. Los, if I remember right.
Oh, you're brutal, man.
Right? I think I predicted probably the same. So when
he skipped my prediction, I didn't even hear it. Repeat that, Lou.
I think you said that they were going 7-10, maybe 8-9 at the best. And the chat said, "Are you out of your bleeping mind? What is wrong with you?" And I just wanted to tell you, hey guys, on this chat, we speak the way we feel. Sometimes we're right, sometimes we're not. But majority of the time we're right. And I think what makes NorCal sports unique is we follow our gut, not our heart. Now Dan predicted, hey, 13-4, that's fine. He's off last year. That doesn't mean next year, who knows what's going to happen.
It's message. I almost won $10,000. 22-1 in a survivor pick. Yeah. I was wrong about the Niners, just like all the odds makers.
And why do you tell them? And Dan, tell them what happened.
I was 22-1 in my.
Tell them when you were undefeated. What happened? Who did you listen to?
I listened to this clown, producer Ryan.
Instead of me.
As Gary Radnich would say, I listened to the young punk. The young punk steered me wrong. Yeah. And happens. All you other punks in this chat.
Hey, Dan, do what me and Los do. When you have a problem, just get in the ring. Deal it like men. No, but I just wanted to say, guys, if you listen to the chat, you would understand where we come from. It's the same thing with the Giants. I always speak my mind about the Giants. We know we're not going anywhere.
Message. Do you have a show, It's Message? Or are you just following us because we're growing and you like us?
Do you want a participation trophy?
Yeah, it's very easy to be in the chat, or like if you're a follower of somebody on X and Twitter, and that person or us on a show, obviously we're going to be asked for our opinions and we're going to need to make predictions, and it's very easy to come after us when we're wrong. But make your own predictions. We'll write them down and we'll come after you when you're wrong. I mean, it's not about right or wrong. It really isn't. It's just that's what we feel. Sometimes we're going to hit, like Lou said. Sometimes
we're going to be way off. It's just, hey, we're part of life. No, I'm not butthurt. It's Message. I'm just making fun of you. Look, I didn't make it. I was 22-1, but I did win almost $50. So for a $25 entry fee, not too bad. So how'd you do this year? It's Message. How'd you do? But I'd love for these guys that get all big and puffy and strong with these fake names that come on and just rip on you, and you bring them on the screen, and they probably are full of zits and glasses and look like some clown. Come on, dude.
Now you also got to remember one thing: we had a tougher schedule. Next year, we are going to have an easier schedule. It's already been announced who we play. You know, our home schedule beside our division is Carolina, Jacksonville, Tennessee, and Chicago. So beside the other four, that means, you know, we can be pretty good. And then we go the 9 on the road. Of course, we play our division. Then we go to Cleveland, Houston, Indy, New Orleans, New York Giants, and Tampa Bay. So it's not the hardest schedule. So, you know, next year I could see us playing better, but you know, we have a lot of decisions and a lot of holes that we need to fill.
Right.
Yes, Los.
I'm glad you brought that up because I've heard a lot of that. I've heard a ton of commentators and a ton of radio hosts say the Niners' schedule next year is easy. They will be back. And I'm going to push back on that right here, right now. Teams are not good right now on January 5th, 2025. We have a draft. We have free agency. There are injuries. We just don't know. There are some teams that are on our schedule that we're going to, and we do this every year. Guys, you know me. If you've been in this chat, and you too, being my co-host, obviously, you know how I am. Learn from your mistakes. We do this all the time. We look at a schedule and we go, that's a win. That's a win. That's a loss. That's a loss. And we're practically wrong every single time. You just never know. Any given Sunday. So for people to say the Niners are going to go 12-5, 13-4 next year because they have an easy schedule, completely wrong. Completely wrong. Some of these teams may get better. The Niners may get worse, or vice versa.
Great point.
Niners got to be healthy. Kyle's got to evolve since Jed has made the commitment to bring him back another year. Then we're gonna. And he just had another interview, and he was asked again, "Is there anything that you feel you're going to change for next year?" And take a wild guess what he said.
Why? No, of course not.
Okay, so if Kyle's back, then that means Juice is back, Debo's back, Brendel's back at center, all the things that we don't like. So let's see. Maybe he will evolve, or maybe he will stay the same way he's been for 8 years. But I just don't like the automatic, like, oh, they're going to be better because they're facing the schedule. We don't know.
Yeah, I was only saying, you remember.
No.
Yeah, they're 6-11.
No,
they better be better.
It was not to dispute you.
Yeah.
It was. I've heard it in general been said a lot. And
see how I did on my picks today, guys. Here's my picks right here. Can you see them?
It's okay. There it goes.
All right, Philly won, right? Philly win.
Did you play any dogs or just all favorites? Final week, it's sort of easy.
Who? Tell me who won. I can't remember. I'm not looking at the score. Who won today? Philadelphia.
So you have everyone winning except Detroit.
No, Atlanta. I missed Atlanta. I missed
Green Bay.
And Green Bay. That's it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So 1-0, 2-1.
No,
3,
is that just
4,
straight up
5,
money line
6,
or against the spread?
6, just straight up. 7-1,
a lot of those teams
8-1, 9-1, 10-1, 11-1, 12-1, 12, 13-1. I'm 13-2 today.
Did the Jets lose? Did the Jets lose?
No,
Green
Jets
Bay?
won. Jets won.
The Jets won? Oh, okay. Somebody said the Jets lost.
No, Miami didn't have like 3 of their starters. Nothing you could do.
Jets won 32-20. I said Aaron Rodgers would have a big day because I know how he is, and he's not going to go out. He's going to have a good day, and he had 3 touchdown passes. 5th player in NFL history to get for 500 touchdown passes. The other 4 were Manning, Brady, Breeze, and who was the 4th? Manning, Brady, Breeze.
Moreno?
Might have been Moreno. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Shoot.
But you got to remember, New York, Miami was missing one of their wide receivers and their starting quarterback. So, and it was on the road.
Hey, can you highlight Eddie K's comment?
All fun. Yeah, all fun. That's right. Eddie K. There we go. The worst trait a coach can have is not adapt even for minor detail. And this clown is clearly not gonna. That's great, Jed, and all the dumbass Niner fans who kiss his ass. Good luck with all that trash. Yeah, Niners.
I am not one of those fans that kisses Kyle's ass. Far from it. I'm the complete opposite.
Yeah,
on the record.
Too. I'm not either. I was there.
Dan's joined, and I think Lou's joined as well. You know what else is funny, guys? I find it funny about the national perspective of the 49ers and the local perspective of the 49ers. Like, we follow the team every week. We follow practices. We listen to press conferences. We know everything and all the pulse of the team. And the national media, you know, they see the Niners a few times a year and they think they know, and they don't. Like, all this, Kyle Juszczyk is the greatest 49er fullback in history, and he's a Pro Bowl fullback. And I'm sitting here laughing, going, there's like 4 fullbacks in the league.
Yeah, exactly.
So to be the best one, it's like congratulations. Like, here in the local, you know, media and guys that cover the Niners and all of us content creators, we're like, you know, Juszczyk needs to go. Like, he's regressed. He doesn't block, which is kind of important in a fullback situation. Short yardage, you know, they don't throw the ball. I mean, they don't run the ball. I mean, your fullback needs to do, first and foremost, needs to be a good blocker. And he's not. And today he caught a touchdown pass. Great. It's his maybe second game of the year where he maybe touched the ball more than twice. Like, we locally don't think Juszczyk. We think he's an average player, maybe above average now, but he's certainly not a Pro Bowl, all-pro type of talent like the national media sees it. It's a very interesting, different opinions between local and national to me that I see. And it's like that on Kyle as well.
Yeah. You know, I was just watching some highlights, man. I just saw Baker Mayfield roll out and hit a guy in the corner of the end zone by the pylon. He just fired it in there on the run, a laser. He could throw it harder on the run, not feet set, than Purdy can with his feet set.
Yeah. By the way, a rookie. He's a rookie from Washington, played in the national championship. A rookie. Maybe we could have used a guy like that.
I like Penix. I mean,
no, it wasn't Penix. It was his old wide receiver that caught that for Tampa Bay.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
that's what I meant.
Okay, but Mayfield, the arm, he was a free agent. Wasn't he a free agent last year? And they signed. I mean, what is it that the Niner? I know Brock is a good decision maker. I know that he processes. But dang, he's not, and he's got some running ability, and but the arm strength is like really, I don't know. I'm just like,
it's always going to be an issue. Like, in some key moment and again, when we talk about arm strength, it's not necessarily throwing a 60, 70-yard bomb on the fly. It's velocity. Yeah. It's when a wide receiver does a 20 yards and out to the sideline, that's a long throw. And when you have a good to great arm, you get there on a line, they tap their toes, they get it first down. If you have an average to below average arm and the throw doesn't get there quite as quick, the corner can make a play on it, knock it down, incomplete. That's what we're talking about. So it's not just how far you can throw the ball, it's the velocity in which you can get it on. We saw some throws this year that Brock stepped into it, put everything he had to it, and it still, you know, fluttered and still didn't lead the receiver to a touchdown. The receiver had to stop, wait for it, and then he got tackled. Well, that's a difference between a 50-yard touchdown and a 37-yard completion and then kick a field goal. Those are game type of, you know, plays that, you know, lose ball games. Instead of scoring 7s, you're scoring 3s. So, you know, again, those are not talked about, and people will say, well, you're hating on Brock. No, we're just observing. And we're seeing and making comments on what we observe. If touchdowns are going to become field goals because you didn't lead the receiver, then that's going to be a problem. And that's something I don't know if you want to commit 6 years and $50 million plus to. And I like Brock. I really do.
I like Brock too. I like him really as you know, he's a great guy. He's just humble, good leader.
Yes.
You know,
he's almost like the perfect, I hate to say it because I think he's better than that, but he's like the perfect backup. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I hope that doesn't get, you know, I'm not saying he's a backup. I think he's a good starting quarterback. But he's such he's a guy that can come in, and look what he did when he came in Miami. Nobody knew who this kid was, and Miami blitzed the crap out of him, and he made the right play. He is smart. One thing Sam Darnold said about him, and one thing Dobbs said about him, and I know this is true because I actually have talked to Brock Purdy's dad a couple of times, and he swears by it. And obviously, the dad knows him better than anybody. Nobody will outstudy Brock. Nobody will, understand the game plan, understand the offense, understand what the other defense is doing. He puts the time in the room. And I think sometimes, Dan and Lou, some of these quarterbacks that have all the talent in the world, they don't put in the time because they think their talent is just going to get them over. So I think the best quarterbacks do both.
What do you think about this comment from George Curry?
I was just going to say something about it. Oh, go ahead.
Well, right now, this year, which is all we're going off of, Baker Mayfield's a better quarterback than Purdy is. Right now, this year. Last year, Brock was a little bit better. So they're a little bit more even than what you think.
Okay.
Baker has good weapons, but so does Brock.
Let me ask you this,
George.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead, Dan.
I want to Drake May and JJ McCarthy. I don't know much about Drake May as far as I didn't really watch any New England games this year. How is his arm strength?
He's better than Brock.
But is he a dart thrower or is he?
Yeah, I mean, I saw the last 3 or 4 games that he played. I mean, he can heave.
Can he heave it, Lou?
Yeah.
I mean, Los, have you seen him throw?
Not too much.
Okay.
Again, different program he comes out of.
I'm coming up with a point here because I'm wondering what this has to do with, if anything. I think it does, but here's 4 quarterbacks that are listed, and I know 2 of them can throw the ball very. Drake has a big arm. Ryan says, okay, so look at the hand size here. Drake May and Bo Nix and McCarthy, Penix and Nix both have cannons, and they both have big hands to throw the ball. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I know it has something to do with controlling the football in weather where it doesn't slip out of their hands. But sometimes guys with big hands don't throw the ball, like the guy that Jim Druckenmiller, he was a pretty big guy. He didn't throw that well for the 49ers years ago. So it's not always, a factor. But I just haven't seen Drake May, so I really don't know.
Yeah. Dan, I got a question. So George is saying, hey, the Niners had a bad year. Brock's definitely a top 10 quarterback. Okay, I just gave you 10 quarterbacks. Would you rather have Brock or one of them? Okay, I'm just going to go through it. Mahomes, who would you rather have?
Well, no.
Okay, Mahomes. Burrow. Allen.
Yeah.
Golf.
Yeah.
Lamar.
Golf. Yeah.
Love.
I'd rather have Love.
Again.
You didn't even have Jaden Daniels in there.
No, I don't even have Daniels. So, guys, again, hey, we're not being homers because, obviously Los loves Brock. He thinks he's a good quarterback.
Love him.
But what we're talking about now is he's definitely not a top 10 quarterback. Maybe in a couple of years he might be. But this comes down to the fact now, what are you going to do? This offseason for the 49ers, I know we have thousands of holes, but they're going to have to decide, what are we going to do with Brock? Are we going to do what Dan said? Franchise him? Give him more money? Or are we going to commit to him 4 years, $200 million when we have so many other holes? And I'll leave it to you two just to decide. And
there's
George.
No way I just wouldn't. I'm with Colin Cowherd, what he said. I'm not giving a B plus quarterback A plus money. You don't win unless you're an A quarterback. Mahomes, Allen, Burrow. It's not that many of them. Jackson. You're not.
The problem
you can't pay these guys that much money because it just you can't
And
pay
I know
other
it's
guys.
all timing. It's all timing. They got to do something, and his year is up. But I'm just saying, it's something we got to think of.
The
I would
problem
take-
with the problem with the NFL, both with quarterbacks and coaches, and you're seeing it now play out here with the Niners, is that a fan base is so extremely paranoid to move off of a quarterback or to move off of a coach, thinking that there's nothing better. They're completely paranoid. Out of all the quarterbacks that have been given big money lately, like 2 or 3 of them are really earning it. And the other 8 or 9 are not. Those are bad percentages. That's a bad precedent. So if you have a bad investment, if you're a stockbroker and you see this is a bad investment, this is a bad investment, this is a bad investment, and it's been proven, are you going to go all in and put your money in on what's been proven to be a bad investment? I don't think you would. So again, Brock Purdy is a good quarterback. I don't think any of us here are saying he is a bad quarterback or below average. We think he's a good quarterback. But to be compensated as the highest paid quarterback, and I'm tired of hearing about the market. Who gives a shit about the market? I bought a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house for $450,000 2 years ago. Right down the street is a condo that's a little smaller than mine. The market has it at $500,000 now. It's $50,000 more than my house. Should I buy the condo? No, not for that price. If I bought the condo and got it, if you gave it to me for $275 or $300, I'd buy it. We're not saying don't pay Brock. Does he deserve a raise? Hell yes. He's way more than $1 million quarterback, but he's not a max top elite quarterback. That's got to stop. How does the Dallas Cowboys feel about paying Dak Prescott all that money? $60 million.
$64.2 million.
Are they going to win a Super Bowl anytime soon with Dak Prescott making that kind of money and being the above average coach? What are we doing in sports, guys?
Yeah.
Like Dak Prescott has proven over and over again, he does not play well when the money is on the line and everything. That to me as an owner, I'd be like, thanks. This is a business, man. I'm telling you. Paying Dak Prescott was just about selling tickets and selling seats, and that's it. It's not about winning Super Bowls. So you got to ask yourself as a fan, what do you want? Do you want the Niners to win Super Bowls, or do you just want the house to be packed and then to sell merchandise and seats? If you want them to win Super Bowls, then Brock has to have everything in place in order for him to win a Super Bowl. He's got to have a lot of talent around him. And if you pay him that money, it's not going to happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ryan asked a question. He says, honest answer, Bo Nix or Brock? That's really not that difficult for me. If I'm looking at the trajectory of a player and I'm looking at ability and athleticism and raw talent, I'm taking Bo Nix. That's just not very difficult. I mean, there's a reason some people look at this and go, well, Brock Purdy had a great 2 years. But guys, there's a reason he was the last pick in the draft in the 7th round, and Bo Nix was a 1st-round pick. These guys miss sometimes. They don't always get everything right, but it's rare when a 7th-round pick or an undrafted free agent outperforms, round 1, 2, or 3 QB. It happens, but not often. I'm not saying I think Brock is better than his draft slot. I think he's right now. I think he's out of 30 quarterbacks. If you said smack in the middle, he's 15th. He's right there, 15, 16. I named my quarterbacks above him, and if I did it again, I tell you what. I mean, obviously you got the big 3, right? Mahomes and Allen and Burrow. No question about that. You could rank them any way you want, 1, 2, 3, but I don't think anybody has any of those guys less than 3.
I like the word you used a lot, trajectory. I mean, you just, again, use your eyes and you just see the skill set that Nix has.
Yeah.
You see the skill set that Purdy has. And ask yourself this, if you give Brock 55 to 60 million, how much better can he get than he is now? Like how much better can he get? He's not going to grow any taller. He's not going to probably have a stronger arm. I don't think he can read a defense any better than he does now already. It's just the weapons that he has around him. It's amazing the perception about, like George says, well, Purdy won in the playoffs and Dak choked. Okay, well, let's analyze that. How did Brock play in the playoffs last year? How did he play against Green Bay? He didn't play that good. He played
Interceptions,
well.
mistakes.
He played, and who saved him in that game? The defense kept getting the ball back for him. Yeah. And to his credit, he made plays at the end of the game to win the game. But he struggled again in the rain. And we're going to keep bringing that up. That man has not played well one time in bad weather. And you give him that kind of money, I'm sorry. It's not going to be 75 degrees and sunshine for 17 weeks in a season. And if you have to go on the road and play Green Bay, you're probably not winning that game with him. So it's amazing to me about perception. How did Brock play against Detroit? Brock, not the team, Brock. How did he play against Detroit? He played well down the stretch. He made plays with his legs. How did he play in the Super Bowl? He played okay, right? He had a chance to be an elite superstar quarterback and make a throw on 3rd and 4, and he threw the ball to Jennings instead of Ayuk, who was wide open on a blitz slant. So, again, Brock is a very good quarterback, but he's not elite or great.
Look at what Aaron says here. Brock was put in the perfect situation at the right time with healthy superstars in their prime, and they elevated Brock's value tremendously. Absolutely. And you know what else, guys? It's just like any sport. In baseball, sometimes a hitter will come out and he'll just start hitting and hitting and hitting, or a pitcher just lights out, and then the league figures him out. Sometimes it takes a year, and they figure him out. Take a look at some of the guys that were unbelievable their rookie seasons in baseball, and then they falter because guys make adjustments. They find a weakness. The league defenses have figured out Kyle's offense, and that makes Brock more, just average. Because, look, in that offense, what you're called to do is process and make quick decisions, and it's designed that they're supposed to be. If you notice the way the West Coast offense works, there's a pattern. There's a guy short, long, and short, middle, and long, and they're all within the same view. So if you're looking at your reads, you're not going, whoa, where's all my receivers? No, they're one short, one a little longer, and one a little longer, so that you can look at the read, and a lot of Kyle's plays are like that. And so if he wants to take the deep route, he's not having to look off so much. And that's what makes Kyle's offense click. And teams have figured that out. Well, if you play him in man instead of zone, those guys aren't open in that zone anymore.
You know what's interesting? I will say this, and Nate Dogg, I agree with you. If Brock had a better line, excuse me, to protect him and let him read, which is his strength, a defense, and have a little bit more time to throw, I think he could make more plays. And I'll go even one better of you. You know how big of an advocate I am for the Niners to move off of Shanahan. What if an offensive-minded coach like a Joe Brady or Ben Johnson was the coach here, along with 2 first-round picks? Let's not forget that. What if the new coach allowed Brock to audible, to really see the field? Because in Kyle's system, he's given a play, but he has 2 choices. You can do either A or B. Well, what if A or B both suck? What if A and B both are not the best play? What if a new coach came in? This is why I'm so, and everybody that's so paranoid about moving off of Kyle, my God, if you had somebody in here like a Ben Johnson or a Joe Brady or a Liam Cohen, the offensive coordinator at Tampa Bay, and let's say they said, hey, Brock, I didn't know you were this good. Now I'm working with you. You know what? You know my offense? You have complete autonomy to make a play change at the line of scrimmage. So think about this. Here's where I will back some of you that are George and some others that are backing Brock. If Brock had a better offensive line, which we know Kyle does not believe in, he doesn't believe in prioritizing offensive line. That's one of many reasons I don't like him. And he had a coach that said, Brock, you can change the play to whatever you see as fit. Then Brock will elevate from a 7 to a maybe 8.5, 9 quarterback. But only then. If you keep Kyle here, which most of our fan base wants and what Jed wants, then you're going to handcuff him. You're not going to allow him to change the play, and you're not going to get him the offensive line that he needs to be most successful. The end.
Hey guys, I'm going to run here. If you guys can continue to.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up one stat.
No, you guys can keep going. I'm gonna run. I'll let you guys finish
right.
the show out.
Okay.
One thought I want to throw out to you guys before I leave, though, and this is haven't thought it through carefully, but how would you guys feel about a guy coming in to be the quarterback for next year for 1 year, who was supposed to be a 49er?
Oh, not Cousins. Not Cousins. Okay.
He was
and it
supposed
better
to be
not
a
be
49er.
Rodgers, the old man, but thank God.
Yeah, I'm thinking Rodgers. I think what do you think of Rodgers having a year healthier, one last year? Peyton Manning did it with Denver. He wasn't the greatest, but a guy that won't make the big mistakes, knows the offense because it's Green Bay, played there, and it's pretty much similar. Come back, kind of a discount to play his last year with his hometown team. Give him $25 million. What do you think? You think it would be worth it, or would you think he's washed?
I think he's kind of washed. Him and Kyle could never coexist.
He's 43 years old.
Him and Kyle could never coexist. Kyle didn't want Tom Brady here. Why would he want Aaron Rodgers here?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers would push back. Kyle doesn't like people that push back. He needs yes men. So in theory, it would maybe it's not the worst idea in the world, but you also got to think Aaron Rodgers is as big of a statue as there is as quarterback right now. And with no O-line, oh my God.
Yeah, no O-line. Yeah.
I would whatever defense would be playing the Niners, I would be playing them in fantasy because they'd get about 11 sacks with that O-line and Aaron Rodgers and mobility.
Yeah. All right, man.
No, we'll let you go, Danny.
Ryan, are you still out there? Let me see. He can come in and close the show.
Right. Yeah, I just wanted to say the one thing about Bo Nix and Purdy. People don't realize they're the same age. One's 25. One's going to turn 25 next month. Bo's going to turn 25. Nix played 6 years in college. He started in the SEC for Auburn. Then he played in the Conference of Champions for 2 years at Oregon. Okay, he played 6 years of college ball. Purdy played 2 years at Iowa State. He didn't play his freshman year. He played a little sophomore year, played 2 years. Okay, different programs, different everything. So, guys, we're not saying that Brock isn't good. We're just saying he's not one of the top 10s. You know, the other thing too is when you ask that question, one in the playoffs, the other one's never even appeared. So it's sort of a tough question. But when you talk about the ceiling, one has already been in championship games, didn't come through in the Super Bowl. The other one, you got to give him a little effort. But in the future, maybe 3-5 years, you know, maybe Nix might be better. But you got to remember, he played 6 years of college because of COVID. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Los.
No. Finish your thought.
No, that's all I was going to say. You know, the comparison came up. You know, I know Ryan, you know, is sort of being a homer because Nix plays for Denver. But when you bring up two quarterbacks, you know, different programs, I just think when you've been in a pressure situation, especially like when you played in, you know, the Pac-12 championship, the national championship, when you're at Oregon, you're always under the belt. You know, at Auburn, he beat Alabama once. He had, you know, Bo's a different type of quarterback too. He has legs, you know, he has a decent arm. You know, the thing with Brock now is we saw when everything's not going right, every quarterback's going to have problems. But we're just talking, hey, does he deserve the money? And that's all I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. So you guys ready to get out of here? Or you want to keep going?
Yeah, we can get going. That's fine.
You want to go?
Warrior game in 15 minutes. We're good.
Yeah, I got that. And I'm heading over to Krug Show. We only well, I'll put you in the
I just got one little quick point to finish out. If you
perfect.
If you have to go,
please do.
Cool. So there's two quarterbacks that I kind of like. And before I tell you who they are, let me just tell you that I have kind of a unique philosophy, and I do this in all sports, baseball, basketball, and football. I don't look at the person that is necessarily hot or had a great year last year, because you all know I'm a buy low, sell high type of guy. I look at a guy like Baker Mayfield. There was no quarterback that was more down than him. He was the number 1 pick in the draft. He was a bust. Nobody thought anything of him. And then Steve Young was the same way, guys. Believe it or not, guys, Steve Young was not very well thought of when he was in Tampa Bay. He was in the wrong team, with the wrong system, and the wrong support. I like and look at guys that are talented, and for whatever reason, they were in a bad team or bad circumstance. And if they come over to the right team with the right system and right support, they'll do better. My 2 quarterbacks that I'd like the Niners to maybe take a look at, one is Malik Willis, backup quarterback of Green Bay. He has talent. He's got an arm on him. I saw him in his college workout throw a ball 75 yards. He has a cannon for an arm, and he's mobile, and he's a smart kid. He's a backup now for Green Bay. So maybe I think he's a free agent as well. And the second is a guy that I like coming out with Trey Lance's draft, which is Zach Wilson. Kind of a little bit of an immaturity, went to New York, had no protection. He is another talented quarterback. I will take talent. And if you coach it right, and again, put it in the right system, you never know. You might hit something big on that. So I'm not having those guys come in and be the starter, but I'm having them come in and make Brock Purdy look over his shoulder for sure.
All right, guys, that should do it for us. We'll be back tonight, post-game show at Warriors taking on who the heck
The
are they
Kings,
playing?
not
Sacramento.
Fox.
That's right. Sacramento will be on just before 8 o'clock. Should be 7:55, 8 o'clock. We will see you tonight, and take care, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Los, Happy New Year. I haven't seen you this year yet.
Happy New Year, buddy.
All right,
Yes,
guys.
sir.
We'll see you.